My name is Mike Berkey. I'm the VP Corporate Development and a Director of Sitka Gold. My background, I'm a geologist, grad of '87, so a little younger than you, but really happy to be here presenting to you guys on our Sitka Gold company. This opening slide here is an interesting one. We've made a new discovery on our property, the RC Gold up in the Yukon. You can see the drill in the foreground there. This is the Rhosgobel area. We've done about over 10,000 meters of drilling in this area now, covering about 1 kilometer of strike length. In the first 34 holes in there, we've hit visible gold in 31 of them. And our first 8 drill holes into this area have produced greater than 100 gram meter intersections. The best intersection is over 200 gram meters. So in American terms, we're batting 1,000 here. We're really excited about this new discovery. So that was my first forward-looking statement. I'll be making more, so read this at your leisure. But just a quick introduction to Sitka. Our flagship property is in the Yukon, the RC Gold Project, but we have other assets down in Nevada, Arizona, and up in Nunavut in Nevada. Our Alpha Gold Project is in the Cortez Hills Trend. It's just 40 miles south of the Cortez Hills mine complex. Done about 5,000 meters of drilling there historically. It's permitted for drilling. We're not doing any drilling there this year. We've intersected Carlin-style mineralization and alteration, so more plans to go in there eventually. In Arizona, Burrow Creek, it's got a historical resource, 5 million ounces of silver, 120,000 ounces of gold. Again, permitted for drilling. It's never been drilled off the patented claims, so the BLM lands are permitted for drilling. And then up in Nunavut, there's the Coppermine River Project. Verify. Is a project that it's a surface discovery, and we've done a small drill program there, about 1,000 meters. But we're focused on the Yukon. That's our RC Gold project right in the center of the Yukon there. We produced a couple of resource updates, the last one in January 2025. We have 2 deposits there that combined have about 2.8 million ounces of gold. We've made the new discovery, and we've done 30,000 meters of drilling this year. We're going beyond that 30,000 meters. We're kind of under budget and ahead of schedule, so we're not going to stop quite yet. But this is where we are. If you're familiar with the Tombstone Gold Belt, it's a belt of rocks that stretches across Yukon and Alaska. First discovery there was Fort Knox over in Alaska, and when people discovered that, they popped over to the Yukon, realizing that that belt of rocks was offset by the Tintina Fault, and then carried on in the Yukon. So a lot of work in the western part of the belt where there was active placer mining. Recent discoveries have been Ormac. I'll get this right. This is my first time using Verify. But Ormac here, and then of course Valley Gold. When Snowline Gold discovered the Valley Gold deposit, people really realized that these intrusion-related gold deposits that are typically low grade, sub 1 gram, had the potential to have much higher grades with them. So that really kicked off interest, and it's really booming this year in the Yukon. A lot of exploration going on. So our project being in the western part of the belt, we have great infrastructure. There's 3 paved runways in the Yukon, and we're a 2-hour drive away from one of them. And so about 100 kilometers out of Dawson City, Yukon. We're in that Tombstone Gold Belt, and we have a large land package, 431 square kilometers. So at the start of the year, our investment highlights plans was to look at our existing deposits, the Blackjack and the Eiger, and to expand those with our 30,000 meter drill program. So we planned 15,000 meters around there to expand that existing deposit. We also have 11 intrusions on our property, all with gold mineralization. Some of them have historical exploration on them, so 5 of them had greater than 100 gram meter intersections, and so we've tested 3 of those, and we've made that new discovery at the Rhosgobel. We're fully funded. We still have $20 million in the treasury. Great team up at site there, going from a 10,000 meter drill program last year to 30,000 meters this year. It's quite the job, and excellent infrastructure, as I said before. Our share chart, last year at Beaver Creek, we were about a $40 million market cap. This year we're just over 300. Really started with our Blackjack deposit, the drilling we were doing last year, really highlighting that this was indeed a 1 gram grade deposit. So at the end of the summer, Beaver Creek, our drill results started flowing out. We got some good reaction to that. January of 2025, we updated our resource calculation. We increased the size of the deposit, Blackjack, from 900,000 ounces to 2.3 million ounces. And then we can drill year round. So we started drilling in the winter, so we get a news flow that starts up early in the year. And then here we are today with rising gold prices and a new discovery. So those are kind of key factors in our growth. Gold price doesn't hurt either. So this is, again, that western part of the belt. Here we are, right in here. Banyan is over to our east, Victoria Gold, Hecla. So it's a pretty prolific belt of rocks in here. This is the area that's seen the most exploration. And since 2020, there's been about 12 million ounces added to the gold endowment in this part of the Yukon. Looking at grades, Snowline, as I mentioned, really captured everybody's attention with their discovery at Valley. You're going to hear more about that. But their grade at a 0.3 gram per ton cutoff, they're up around a 1.25 grams per ton. We're around a gram in the Blackjack, and we can see Victoria Gold. They were mining, their initial resource was 0.63 grams per ton. They mined a little bit higher grade than that when they got started, but it just shows you the grade profile of these deposits. We're finding higher grades within this belt, and certainly having an operating mine operate in that 0.6 gram range bodes well for these future projects. And Fort Knox over in Alaska, I mean, they've produced over 9 million ounces, and their grade right now is 0.3 grams per ton. So eventually these things are really cheap to mine. So this is those two deposits, Blackjack and Eiger. Blackjack on the left, that's the pit shells there at a 0.3 gram per ton cutoff. Blackjack, 40 million tons at a gram in the indicated resource, 1.3 million ounces. Additional inferred, 34 million tons at 0.94 for another million ounces. And then the Eiger just off to the east there. That hadn't been drilled since 2021 until this year, and it's 440,000 ounces at half a gram. But just stepping back and looking at the western part of our 431 square kilometer property, this is where all these red areas are known intrusions with known gold mineralization. So as I mentioned, we drilled up in the resource area to expand those resources. This is that Rhosgobel discovery, and this is only 5 kilometers in between these areas. And we've also drilled in this Pukelman contact. So it's a very compact, tight area, and anything we find in this will likely feed into a central complex. So this is the distribution of drilling, 15,000 meters up in the Blackjack Eiger, where we have known deposits, 5,000 meters in the middle around Pukelman, and Rhosgobel, 10,000 meters planned. But we still have 2 drills spinning there, and we're over 11,000 meters now. It's turning out to be obviously really good. So 34 holes, over 10,000 meters. First 31 of those 34 holes had reported visible gold in them. Our very first hole last year, the discovery hole, hole 1, intersected 119 meters of 1.05 grams per ton. So pretty sweet start. And as I said, we're batting 1,000. We just released a couple holes this week, and they hit that over 100 meter mark with a gram. So this is a view from underground. All those yellow dots are visible gold observations in the core. So this is hole 1 and 2. This is 3 and 4 hiding in there. 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 that we just released. Those cover a strike length of about 300 meters, but this length that we've drilled is over 1 kilometer. So we're getting fantastic results out of there. A lot of news flow coming down the pipe as we get these things through the assay lab. But here's some quick sections. Here's hole 1 and 2, the discovery holes. Again, 119 meters of 1.05 grams right from surface in hole 1. Hole 5 and 6 here, both 114 meters and 166 meters from surface at just 1.1 and 1.14. And then the most recent holes, hole 7 and 8, as we move to the east, 168 meters of a gram and 162 meters of a gram. So pretty impressive start. We're pretty excited about what we're seeing. We have seen visible gold down to about 400 meters depth. So this is open in every direction to depth, east, west, north, south. So as I mentioned, about 10,000 meters, a little over 10,000 meters to date, and we're still drilling with two drills up there. So again, stepping back, looking at those deposits up to the north, the Blackjack and the Eiger. We're looking at that drill expansion up there to expand these two deposits. Saddle zone is midway between there. The saddle zone sits within the pit limits of the Blackjack. So anyways, there's the drill pattern there. On the Blackjack deposit, we did 7,500 meters of drilling, another couple thousand on the saddle, and just under 5,000 on Eiger. Most drill results are pending on those, but we have released a few. There's the resource areas on Blackjack and Eiger, both that indicated and inferred resource. And as we zoom in here, this shows the Blackjack. This is that saddle area that sits within the pit limits. And make sure I touch that button. Yeah, so this is the saddle area up in here. But this is hole 76. It was drilled to 940 meters. We hit a gram per ton in the last 5 meters of that. There was a section in there at depth that ran 65 meters of 2 grams per ton. Within that, there's 2 sections of 8 meters and 6 meters that hit 5 grams per ton. Hole 75 is over in here. It hit 25 meters at 5 grams per ton, and the pit limits would be somewhere around there. So we're seeing the potential for underground as this deposit remains open at depth. So that just shows visible gold dots in every one of our exploration targets. We have visible gold as an indicator along with the mineralization that we see in our drilling. So instant feedback really helps us guide our drilling. This is that deep hole 76 on the Blackjack. You can see down at depth where we hit that higher grade mineralization. So it's got a lot of work left. It's still open up dip to the east towards the saddle and at depth. This is the saddle that sits within those pit limits, as I mentioned, of the Blackjack deposit. It's a sill complex that sits between Blackjack and Eiger. You can see here, anything we find here is going to lower the strip ratio and add to the ounces in our resources. Mineralization extends from both within the sill to deeper down within the metasediments. We see it in the footwall and the hanging wall of that sill. So yeah, a couple thousand meters of drilling into that. And just stepping back, that's the Eiger off to the east. You can see the visible gold observations in the drilling. We have one hole back from that, 370 meters of half a gram, but we can see off to the eastern part observations of visible gold in the drill core. So we've been waiting for the assays on that, but we're pretty confident we've increased the size of the Eiger. So again, just stepping back a little farther, Pukelman's kind of in the central part, a couple kilometers south of those resource areas. Again, drilling there, planned 5,000 meters. We've got a number of holes in there. This is a little more difficult to visualize. Pukelman is the intrusion. Contact zone is in the metasediments just outside of the intrusive area. So this is the contact where we've hit mineralization in the metasediments, and we've got a couple holes into the intrusive, some with really good observations of visible gold. So we're awaiting those assays as well. We've released about a third of our assays this year and waiting for the rest. And as I mentioned, we still have 2 drills spinning on the Rhosgobel. So that's that 5-kilometer stretch and all the various drill targets in between with those pretty little yellow dots, visible gold observations in our core logging. Again, it's a big property. We're focused on the western half where the road access is very good. The road actually goes right along up here. There's a road that comes in here into our areas. Oh, that's not working. But anyways, these 2 intrusions off to the east, not road accessible, but only 12 kilometers off the road and almost only 2 kilometers. So we've got a lot of exploration targets from grassroots stage to more advanced exploration. Metallurgy, we've done preliminary work, so it's all good.
You're pretty well out of time.
Oh, watch me go now. There's 100 gram meter intersections. So we've had you can see that Rhosgobel at the end, very good. And that's our drill plan. That's our property plan. It's a large project, a lot of targets. So I'm gonna go back and close with that slide. Greater than 100 gram intersections. You can see that Rhosgobel. It's a great new discovery. We're really excited about how that works out. So thanks.
Right.